The hammer of a fist against the door feels like a nail being pounded in my head. Welcome to Katawa Shoujo. Lynx here. Let's continue. Once, twice, 3 times, I let out a long, annoyed breath and buried while pressing my eyelids shut, fervently hoping for whoever that is to just go away. I feel pretty damn awful. My face feel like it's cast out of lead, my arms feel heavy, and I feel very queasy. It's been like this since I woke up half an hour ago, and I can't summon the energy to pick myself out of bed. So, this is what they call a hangover. I wonder if perhaps this is the best treatment for teenagers who desperately want to try drinking as a way to feel like an adult. I've never had this feeling. Considering how unpleasant this is, it's not something I want to repeat. Understandable, that's why... Actually, not really true. I had hangover once. And it was when I, kind of basically tested my limits. So yeah, hangover is terrible. But then again, I just don't drink really often. Even for my head, it's pretty good. Anyway, continue. A series of thumbs rings out again, reverberating around the small room. I wish I'd just give up already. I have no intention of getting out of bed for them. Seconds pass, turning to minutes. Since no more knocks are coming from the door, whoever it was must have left. Thank goodness. Looking at my clock, the time when I really should think about getting rest and ready for class approaching, I don't think I can manage it for. I hate cutting class, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get much done at this rate. I can tell I look like a mess without needing to look in the mirror to confirm it too. The morning rush gave me enough time to stand outside the classroom for a little while without looking too suspicious. I hope that Muto doesn't ask any awkward questions about my not attending school yesterday. I was sick. That much is true. It's just the reasons for it that I have to hide. Confident I can get by with a tactical omission of certain truths, I stride into the classroom doing my best to appear normal. Dude, you just say, you know, I tried something new in the kitchen and it didn't turn out well. The instant I open the door, which technically makes sense still. I mean, you use wine in the kitchen. The instant I open the door and take a single step in, I can feel those eyes looking at me. There is no way I'm managing this. They're not even making an attempt to hide it. My eyes take a quick sweep around the classroom. I spot Hanako. We make eye contact momentarily, before she looks down and stares very hard at her desk. Did she spill the beans? Muto may be okay as far as teachers go, but underage drinking on campus is not exactly something that would be taken lightly. I looked at him with some trepidation.
Feeling better today?
Yeah, thank you. He motions for me to take my seat. My legs feel like sticks as they carry me there. This is going to be a long day. It's funny that he's feeling so under pressure just because of that. As soon as the lunch bell rings, I on my way to Hanako's desk to ask her what's going on.
Hanako, did you tell?
She looks up at me and shakes her head. That's a big relief. It's just? Well, hello there, Hichan. It's nice to see you again today. Oh no. I grimace and turn towards the unmistakable voice coming from behind me. That was way too upbeat a tone of voice to feel comfortable, even for Misha. Her happy smile is nothing out of the usual. Shizune's voice, a very bad sign. The one she wears has become notched into my brain as her "I've got you 7 ways from Sunday" smile. Hi. You look happy to see me. Not feeling well yesterday, Hichan? No, I wasn't. But I'm feeling better now, at least, I think. For that dinner is coming back. I don't know, man. It's easy to play this. He's so terrible of a liar. That's good to know, Hichan. Why do I get the feeling that Shizune is leading me into the trap? You sound you're like not being completely serious.
Oh no, Hichan! We're genuinely pleased that you're all better now.
I will not help you, okay? Go to hell. Shizuna is positively overflowing with happiness. There is only one reason why she would be like this. Oh no.
In fact, we were quite worried about you after all.
I don't give a damn.
You, Hanako, and Lily were all absent from class on the same day.
Yeah, she's got us. So for the all I can do is sign defeat. Yeah, I mean that cooking I've made. Oh, don't remind me, okay? I guess you have your own theories about this. Could you just kinda not tell anyone? Hisao, what is wrong with you?
It's a bit late for that, Hichan.
I suppose she's right, considering the looks I got as I entered the class. Still, things only seem to be at the level of vague suspicion rather than outright accusations, so we'll probably be fine. Yeah, dude, just don't give a damn about them. Hanako's face sinks a little further. Such attention is troublesome enough for me, let alone for her. Going by Shizuna Misha's reactions, I think they notice this as well. Of course they don't.
The only reason why we're giving you such a hard time is that you ignored us yesterday morning.
Yeah. Yesterday morning. It takes a while to recollect what happened then, given the haze induced by the generally awful state I was in at the time. Oh, right. The knocking. That was you two.
It was, and you left us there for ages after we'd taken all the effort of coming to your dormitory early in the morning.
Sorry. I was having a problem with Nosy. Yeah, a problem with Nosy. They are not buying it, I can't blame them, and I don't care. Shizuna's head drops in resignation before she reaches into her pocket. Something white and yellow can be seen sticking out a little, and as she pulls it out, it turns out to be an envelope with the very bright decorations on it. Since she points it towards me, I duly take it.
This is what we're going to guard so hard to give you, Hichan. You did check here.
I tune out the sound of Misha's voice as my eyes register what's written on the envelope. Iwanako. I stare at the envelope for a moment before suddenly remembering that there are people around me. There's a very strange, somewhat invasive feeling about their expressions. I kind of want to be alone right now.
Iwanako.
It's nothing. It's nothing. Thank you for bringing this me to... Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Should think so. After what went through to get it to you.
You could have just slipped it under the door, but whatever. I step back and say my goodbyes. Bisha theatrically pouts even as I got out the door, but Shizuna and Hanako remain very visibly curious about my reaction. With Shizuna's curiousness, we don't give a care. I hope they won't interrogate me on this later. I wouldn't mind. To Hanako, I don't mind her telling her. Yo. The smell of the gardens is as always a very pleasant sensation. Some of the most visible signs of how well funded this school is, aside from its sheer size, are the expense and condition of the grounds. A good number of students can be seen in the think lounge, chatting and playing on the bright green lawns. As you can see, there are a lot of them. Even some of the staff is enjoying the summer here, keeping watch over the students and easily walking along the long concrete paths. I'd never seen a sight like this in my home city. On excursions, maybe, but certainly never in the school or anywhere near where I lived. I see. Maybe it was just like my schools where they wouldn't allow you to go outside. Even the bench I sit onto read is warmer thanks to the summertime sun. Remind me of why I haven't worn the school blazer even once yet. What's a school blazer? We didn't have those, luckily enough. Considering this, the sunflowers and splashes of brilliant yellow coloring adorning the paper are quite appropriate for the time. Oh, why the heck is there that drill sound in the game? It was just neighbors. Damn. Anyway, if only the words written on it were as well. Can you hear this? I don't think the mic is picking up the drilling actually. Okay, it catches something, but it might be me. Okay, I think it caught the drill. Anyway, here I was, thinking I'd managed to get over her, when this troublous thing shows up. How can you get over someone who you actually didn't have feelings for and you've never been in a relationship with? I don't get it. Her handwriting looks vaguely familiar best. And don't know that I see it again. I remember that she used to write in pink pen a lot. She was always very girly, for lack of a better term. But she was also... You know what? Now that I think about it, there should be this as well. I know it's maybe a little crazy, but... Whatever. Where's Iwanako route? Okay? Where is it, game? I'm gonna complain. We need more routes, okay? Even if there are a lot already and there's a lot of story, we need more routes. But she was also quite fragile. I never knew if I liked this aspect of her or not. For with the arrival, what do you mean by fragile? Of this letter, the question seems to have become largely moot. The letter begins with not much more than an update on the state of things going on in her life. My old class had a good start to the school year. Many are anxious about the exams that will be coming up in the future, etc. But it ends on a very personal, if brief note. It feels a bit like she wrote most of the letter just to try and soften the blow from the ending. Yeah, something like, if you want to write, if you don't have to, and so on, let's end this, right? And he will think, yeah, she wrote this because she wants to end it, and so on. Anyway.
I wanted to somehow express my feelings, but the right words didn't come to me. I couldn't say anything to comfort you. I'm really sorry for not being able to support you when it mattered the most. Even though I like you so much, at least now, finally, I can be more honest. If I could go back to those quiet days in February and March, I'd tell you not to give up on yourself. That's what I would say. Maybe you wouldn't have drifted so far away if I had just said something. I hope you managed to get back on your feet on your own.
That's nice.
No, that the distance between us is also physical. It also feels more final somehow. I wonder if we'll meet again. Perhaps it's for the best if we don't? Question mark. Still, if you would like to correspond with me, by all means write me back. I'd very much like to hear about your new school and how you are doing. I wish you all the best. Sincerely, Iwanako.
And so, that's that. Our relationship is over. Nice, neat, and tidy, with no ambiguity. I hadn't held on to any illusions that it could ever begin anew. The last time she visited me, neither of us said a thing, except for the one word she said as she left for the last time.
Goodbye.
Be that as it may, this feels more final. The capstone on an experiment that both of us tried and failed at. A loud shout draws my eyes away from the letter. It's just some students horsing around, with one of the teachers standing nearby coming over to talk to them.
Are you okay?
Oh, sorry, let's go back.
Are you okay?
A tentative voice comes from my side. For a moment I assume it to be Hanako, but it's actually Yuko. Oh, hello Yuko. I thought you'd be in the library. She gives a chill smile, one quite faking the atmosphere, and flourishes the empty wrapper of a roll in her hand. She must have someone else covering for her while she grabs something to eat. It reminds me that I haven't had anything to eat yet. I don't feel hungry though, and skipping on lunch won't hurt.
Mind if I sit here?
Sure, go ahead. I quickly slide the letter back into the envelope. Slipping it inside my bag, propped against the side of the bench as Yuko takes a seat, she drops the wrapper into a bin beside us. Without much else to do, I lean back and take what enjoyment I can from the sun silently reflecting on the letter. The dash lawns, the clear blue skies. Everything looks so different from the way it did back then. Even the school's surroundings, from the hill it's on to the woods around it, are completely opposite to the urban scenery I remember. Maybe this is what it's like to feel homesick. Then again, it's not an outright bad sensation. The feel of the area around Yamaku, while very different, is also nice. I think I could get used to it.
Hey, Hisao?
Yeah?
You didn't answer my question before.
What question?
I was going to say anything, but you still look troubled. If you don't want to say anything, it's okay. I don't mind that at all. Sorry for asking something strange like that.
Wait, when did you what? Even I didn't know. Did she ask? Oh, are you okay in the very beginning? Okay. Honesty escaped me as well.
If you don't want to say anything, that's okay. I don't mind at all, and I just read that.
I don't mind. I got a letter from someone I knew before I came to Yamaku. It made me think about things. Some things. I thought I managed to get over most of the problems that my accident caused, but now I'm not really so sure. I kinda wish I'd never seen it.
I don't think that's good, Hisao. When my boyfriend left me...
That bastard! How dare he!
He did so very sadly and never let me know why.
Wow, what a bastard.
At first I was very depressed about it, but I decided to forgive him.
You forgave him? Couldn't he at least have talked properly with you about it?
He was always one of those people that found difficult to come close to others. In the end I decided I fell in love with him for a reason. He was a good person, and I think that if I had been in his position, I probably would have found it just as hard to try and talk to him.
I don't really see the connection to the letter I got.
I mean that... How should I put this? It must have been very hard for the person to send the letter, and if they did, I think they must have thought very hard about exactly what to say.
Hanako managed to write the letter and bring a final close to the relationship. Something that I'd never managed to do. God damn it, I'm gonna smack them with the drill later. Whereas here I am, trying to protect and help Hanako as best as I can. Especially with Lily leaving for a while, and I'm not even able to deal with my own problems.
Does that make sense?
She's taken my non-response and furrowed brow as dapped. She reads faces too much, just like a certain other person. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, you know, she didn't leave it hanging, basically. That's a good thing. So, even if it's not face to face, still, at least, she wrote about it. Delta was just kind of shocked, really. I still think they were in a relationship, but okay. I think I tried to fool myself into thinking that my life rested when I came into Yamaku, but now I'm suddenly aware that it didn't. I'm at a bit of a loss about how to deal with these things.
I think that's something I can't really help you with. Sorry.
It's fine. I think being able to talk with you helped me get things sorted out a bit better in my head, so thank you anyway. She nods and smiles sweetly. Yuko is a nice girl, so it's a shame she's so highly strung so often. Yeah, she also needs a route. The school bell ringing out startles us both.
I was supposed to be back before the bell.
Oops. She jumps off the bench and almost races off without a second word, but turns on her heel as she remembers she was talking to me just now.
I'll see you later, Hisao. Cheer up, okay?
I'll try to. Thanks, Yuko. With a quick bow, she takes her leave and begins the rush to the library. Her flight catches the curious eyes of a few passing students who are unenthusiastically tearing back to their classes after their fun. Reluctantly standing front bench, I dust myself off and join them. Even while I walk through the gardens back to the main building, the thought of the letter in my bag doesn't stray far from my mind. It's funny that it's always... I mean, maybe it makes sense. But with that letter, it's always Yuko, right? In the beginning. Whoa! This is a new place. The feeling of walking through the streets is one of a very very deep nostalgia. While Yamaku may be like the reverse of where I've lived in the past, the city at night is amazingly familiar. Wait, this is Yamaku at... What? My eyes are moving constantly from the bright electric screens, glowing high in the night sky to... Now that I think about it, I have not checked, I believe, if that city is a real city. I think I only checked the... I think I only checked the academy, right? This is Katawa, this is... This looks like a real photo. This looks like real, but then I see Hanako here, so I don't know. Damn. No! Okay, that's an interesting picture. Ooh, wait. Full out uniforms? What? Like, you know, they also have blazers, basically. That's pretty neat. Okay, and Yamaku Academy, which is a fictional. I mean, I guess. Oh my. Okay, there's some kind of hotel or whatever somewhere. I don't. Okay, never mind. My eyes are moving completely from the bright electronic screens glowing high in the night sky to the street lamps piercing darkness with their light, to the businessmen enjoying themselves at work and the busy talking couples on dates. Even if I didn't want to, I can't help soaking every aspect of the city. I savor its familiarity like a sweet candy sitting on my tongue. Tongue. Liz walking to my left with her cane swaying to and fro, holding onto her sister's arm for guidance while talking to her. Compared to traveling by taxi or bus, being driven by Akira in her rather nice car was a much Lancer, if I remember correctly. Much more enjoyable experience. Maybe not for the person on my right, for while Lily was used to her sister's driving style and I quite lacked a bit of excitement, Hanako was holding very tightly the door for most of the trip. So, I mean, okay.
Everything looks so pretty at night.
Hanako quickly looks down yet again as she accidentally catches someone's gaze. Yeah, it does. My answer isn't very thoughtful, since I'm distracted by so many thoughts that I find it hard to keep up on small talk. One of those distractions, aside from the city sights, is how Hanako looks. This is the first time I've seen her in something other than her school uniform or her pajamas. It gave me a pause when I first saw her outfit, when we met up at the school gate. Considering how much her head is lowered when people walk near us, I imagine that the hat she wears is more than a fashion statement. While initially I was wary of Lee's plan to take us on to the city, when night fell, it became obvious she had thought about this. Not many people have paid Hanako much heed since the darkness hides her scaring well. So, we're in the city, and I asked what to do. Akira B smiles. Something tells me that she's the one who is making this particular decision, even if her sister may have proposed the outing in the first place.
You will see! Just follow us!
I nod and try my best to stifle a grimace. After what happened during Hanako's birthday party, I don't trust Akira's judgment all that much. We keep walking. Why does this street look familiar? We keep walking, announced that we're passing more and more cafes, restaurants, and other eateries. Every once in a while, a drunken man in a suit comes out of a bar, usually being supported by another, but for the most part, the customers around this part of the city look young and fashionable. Different kinds of music come and go as we pass by each business. The discord created by the overlaps should be grating, but it reminds me so strongly of the times I spent in the city with my old friends that I don't mind. Hanako and I have started to drift a little apart from Lee and Akira. That comes to a stop when I hear a soft toot from beside me.
Sorry.
By the time she rises herself from an apologetic bow, the middle-aged businessman she bumped into is walking away after mumbling a half-hearted apology. Hanako looks a little put off by the experience, and as she quickly skips ahead to match my pace, I notice her head hanging low once more. She probably bumped into him because she was looking downward and not where she was going. I stepped aside a little and put one hand on her far shoulder, drawing her closer.
Hisao. It's okay. You can walk closer to me if you want.
Hanako hesitates, but eventually nods in assent. After a couple of times, when I thought we had arrived at Akira's destination, we reach our target. By now we're below the elevated walkways and past the most garish and brightly lit places. I'm a bit surprised. The average age of those around us is distinctly older and the smell of cigarette smoke is pretty thick. Ugh. Actually, not really. Ugh. It's weird, but I don't mind the smell of cigarettes. Even if I don't smoke, I've never smoked in my life. That's like achievement unlocked. Never smoke in life, right? The area is far from cityful, and it's a little amusing to see Lee's reaction to the smell of the smoke. While it's masked by the low talking of those around us, jazz music can be heard emanating from inside. I like jazz. I mean, I'm not maybe listening to jazz and so on, but if I were to go to the somewhere, bar, restaurant, whatever, jazz music, yes. Looking up at the dimly lit sign, it becomes obvious why. A jazz club. I have to admit that isn't what I expected. Oh, I don't think we have jazz clubs for here. Jazz club. I don't think we have. I mean, I've never heard of. Then again, I mean, there is one near. Okay, but I'm not surprised actually. Whatever I say, I don't think we have something here. It turns out we do. Anyway, Lee gives an amused snort and smile.
Somehow I feel like I should have known it. Akira. Akira is into jazz?
Really? As we talk outside, notice more and more odd sideways glances directed our way. People awkwardly catch themselves staring and look away, but that just makes it more obvious. I had noticed this occasionally when we were walking, but it's more pronounced now. I've never experienced anything like that in my life. An average looking Japanese teenage guy, just a little taller than normal. What's the average height for Japanese? Average height in Japan. I'm curious. Okay, I'm curious. What? Wait, for real? Damn, I feel tall now. This is from 2019, apparently. Height. The average height of a 17-year-old Japanese man is 170. Oh, okay. I'm still taller. Yes. And 157 for women. When it comes to weight, men weigh 62.5. Funnily enough, that's the wave I'm not capable of reaching, you know? I don't know how, but I can apparently drop only to 62.8. It's funny. Which was in the past, now I can't drop to that actually. Now I weigh like 63.5, something like this. Anyway. The average height was... Oh, okay, wait, what? I mean, it makes sense, actually. I feel like people are getting taller and taller now. But overall, the average height for men is 160. So that's what I read at first. So I feel actually relatively tall compared to them. Because I am 173-ish. Something like this. Anyway. Isn't type to draw attention without making an effort. I mean, you have two Scottish girls with you, so... Kind of Scottish. Half Scottish.
Hey, come on! Just because you're a teenager doesn't mean you can have a taste, right?
Well, I don't really mind the music, if that's what you mean.
I don't mind it either.
Meanwhile, Hanako would be like, headphones? And like heavy metal. I mean, hey, it's possible. She's only just managing to force the words out. It contrasts heavily to when we're alone Yamaku, and it disappoints me a little that she's so highly strung for what's supposed to be a good time out on the town. It's hard to read Hanako's face as she keeps looking downwards. It's to wonder if she doesn't often come out to the city because of this, and it makes me a little thankful that my own scaring is easily hidden. Like, then, a chest. Lynx has a similar way of attracting people's gazes, but the reason for it is clearly different. She hardly looks like a native, and the same can be said for her sister. That much is far more noticeable than her blindness from a distance. Well, she has the cane, so they notice that for sure as well. She may not be able to see this for herself, but I have little doubt she can hear the odd whispered phrase from people who think they're out of earshot. She definitely hears them. Be that as it may, she doesn't seem to show any sign of either annoyance or pleasure at the attention. Probably got used to it. Akira's still as confident as ever though. Flashing a smile, she strides in with Lily by her side, and the two of us following behind. And we are relaxing to the jazz music. I had expected my eyes to need adjusting the light inside, but it's not much brighter than outside, now that I think about it. Current music track, Red Velvet. Also, the playtime is just in this road, by the way, not the entirety of the game. The music we heard is clearer now, mixed in with the sound of classics moving on the tables and kanta, and the husky chatter of the patrons. Looking to my right reveals the music source, a jazz group playing beyond some tables. The patron seems to be mostly men, and for there's a handful of women, nobody looks under 30. Aside from us, of course. It feels like we've stepped into the 1920s, and the atmosphere is quite agreeable. I'm not completely comfortable simply because of my age, but were I older, I would probably feel quite at home. Yo, I think I would feel quite at home in a place like this. Hanako seems a bit more relaxed now. Probably due to nobody looking at her. Everybody's talking between themselves, drinking or watching the band. Akira casually takes a seat at the counter without even glancing around. She's probably come here before. The leader tracks her cane, filling out the bar stool and the edge of the counter before taking a seat beside her sister. Not gonna lie, the bar stalls, they are so uncomfortable. The bartender takes a brief break from polishing a glass to watch her before putting it down and coming over. Then again, they are not meant for you to sit for a long time next to the bar, right? Usually just sit for a second and go out, or dance or whatever. I don't dance for.
Good evening, ladies. Hey! What it will be?
Just a scotch, thanks. Lily? I have a glass of...
Oh! A black suit elbow hits her side sharply.
Orange juice, please.
No problem, coming right up.
The bartender starts to pour the drinks. A couple of seconds pass before Akira suddenly remembers that Hanako and I are indeed here and turns around to us.
You do want anything, or are you just gonna stand there?
Hanako seems to be getting a bit restless. No matter where we're going to seat ourselves, there is going to be people right next to her. And I don't think she looks convincingly older than 20, unlike me. Do I look over 20? Probably I do. Must be the bird. Which is funny enough, because I was, before my father's birthday or name's day, well, whatever, in November basically, I was just okay, I have a gift, let's get some alcohol for him as well, why not, right? And there were literally 3 people in front of me also buying that, and the lady was like, ID please. Okay, ID, please. Okay. I approach. Okay. No ID. I don't know, man. I feel like if you have a bird, it means, yeah, he's definitely over 18. Over here. Anyway. Which is funny enough because I maybe would be able to skip that problem. Because I mean, I had to start shaving at the age of 14 already, right? Anyway, the next to her. Okay, unlikely. Wait. I don't feel. What's the Japan's drinking age? It's 21. It's 20. Okay. It's 20. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Then again, it's better than US, right? It's 21 in US, right? USA. Yeah, 21. Which is also freaking crazy. That you can drink alcohol later than you can have, for example, a driver's license. And Germany, it's 16. It's the legal age, okay. What else would I wanted? And over here in Poland, it's 18 for both driving license and the drinking. Of course, you know, there are cases where you would find under that age people driving still and drinking still, of course, because it's Poland, okay. Anyway, looking around, there's a game section to our right. A couple of billiard tables can be seen in the corner and nobody's using them either. I can't play billiard at all. At all, man. I feel like the only time where I could play it was on PlayStation 1 while playing snooker. Which wasn't even my game, it was my cousin's game. But I think I got him. Yeah, I think I took it off of him because he didn't like it anyway. Anyway, I glanced to Hanako, about to ask her if she'd like to play, but she's already looking longingly in the same direction. Maybe to say something that we can get by with so few words nowadays. And speaking of what, great! I'm going on so many tangents right now. Speaking of that snooker game, I remember at some point, I don't remember for what, but I got banned from PC. Of course. I mean, I could of course turn it on whenever I was still at home, but, you know, otherwise not really. So I would just, yeah, I can turn on the PC. Let's play some snooker there. Because other games I played already so many times, you know. I miss my PS1 for. Anyway, we'll go play pool over there. I think eventually, maybe someday, I will get the old consoles as well. Akira leans back to see past me, before shrugging and sitting back up.
It seems you'll have to put up with only me for company. How unfortunate. Have fun, you two!
We turn and set off for the abandoned corner, with Hanako taking the lead. The prospect of a nice, quiet game away from everyone makes her walk noticeably faster. Her eyes stay firmly fixed on her prize. What prize? The table's full size and well lit, despite the surrounding darkness. Well, yeah. Thanks to the bright overhead lights, a huge painting of something covers the wall. I mean, all of the paintings are something. Here, in Katawa Shoujo. There aren't many people milling about this corner of the club, and I can see Hanako becoming a little less tense as a result.
You know how to play?
I'm no expert, but yeah, I do.
Then, 8-ball?
Funny enough, I don't know the rules of the 8-ball. I know the rules of snooker for. Sure. Hanako gets the chalk and 2 cues from a set of hooks against one of the walls, while I fetch the balls from the table's pockets and grab the rack from a shelf underneath. She patiently waits as I get the table set up. After slotting the final ball into the rack and doing some last adjustments, I end up having to find my perfectionist urges in getting the bottom row balls exactly perpendicular with the edges. With the balls arranged and ready to play, I step back and take my cue from her outstretched arm. I carry out a quick inspection of the tee before I'm satisfied that it's in a good condition. So, you've played before?
Once or twice. I just kind of know the rules.
The air between us feels a little awkward. She's still pretty nervous, understandably given that we're in public. Eventually the silence becomes too much even for Hanako, and she begins to quietly stammer.
Who will break?
I think for a moment before reaching my pocket and drawing a coin. I'll take heads, you're tails. After a note of agreement from Hanako, I flick the coin up in the air and catch it. Flip it onto the back of my left hand. Which is funny that I actually did that exactly.
Looks like it's you that gets to break.
Wow. I like this picture. Hanako nods again before taking up her position at the end of the table. I might get this as a wallpaper actually. She's not usually this quiet around me, but I'm not wholly sure if it's because of the tidbit of information about her past that slipped out moments ago. Come on, man, it was just about... No, that definitely not. The cue comes back in a practice gesture before smacking that in the center of the cue ball with tooth. The white ball skates across the smooth green expanse before smashing in the carefully arranged balls at the other end. Balls skitter across the table at high speed. The break was good, but with the balls being nicely distributed around the table. The break is only good if that happens and also she can continue. My eyes are already flicking from one to the other to pick out the easiest candidates to pocket. Hanako retreats from the side and I take my shot.
Well done.
It's only after Hanako says this that I realize the ball I was shooting at was sunk. I look at her and notice a small smile on her face. It's nice how playing games seems to loosen her up a little. Guess I'm stripes then. Oh yeah, there was that in 8 ball. Ah, I forgot. Yeah, I mean, he probably looked at one and said, let's go, and didn't consider actually the future movements, right? I take a step back and let her take the next shot, but she doesn't advance to the table. Rather, she looks down and wraps her arm. But by now, I can define this as one of her gestures that means she wants to say something, but isn't sure enough herself to do it. What's up?
It just... You had a nice smile. Do you like playing this?
I sigh and lean back against the table. I like playing, yeah. I think I smile because it's really nostalgic for... Hanako tilts her head quizzically.
Huh?
Me and my friends used to play pool in the game centers near where we lived pretty often at night, too.
Wasn't your parents?
My parents both worked, so they didn't mind me not being in the house. I sat on the top of schoolwork pretty easily as well, so there was plenty of time to do other stuff at night. Our conversation dies down, with Hanako's timidity getting the better of her. In response, I get off the table and let her take her turn shooting. There aren't many solids in easy positions, so Hanako bends down and takes a while to line herself up properly. Her expression is the same as when we play chess. A relaxed, but focused concentration. Athletes sometimes talk about getting to a zone where nothing unnecessary enters their mind, and I wonder if that's something she can do. It's actually, I would like to say pretty easy, but it's not. But I know the feeling. Her posture is good, better than mine, to be sure. It's very close to a textbook method of playing, whereas I tend to contort myself to whatever position I feel is most natural for the shot I'm taking. But yeah, the zone thing. I mean, you just really need to focus your mind on the thing you are doing, basically. That's all there is to it. I think for me it was easy to get to do so when I got pissed at something. I feel like, okay, it's maybe a weird reason, but I remember the most I was basically supposedly in the zone was when we were playing away game, when I was still in football club, and we were not given the access to the locker rooms, quite literally. We had to change clothes outside, and I don't know, it kind of pissed me off, and yeah, let's say it was basically a one-man game, okay? Anyway, Hanako lines up the queue. The queue comes back and she does a couple of practice movements to make sure she's lined up correctly. Hanako takes games so seriously. It's the only real hobby I know she has, outside of reading. Technically you don't know about games, you know about chess, but okay, seems like, I mean, it's not only chess. It feels good to be able to share this kind of experience with her. She takes the shot after careful consideration, and the cue ball zooms off towards the ball sitting at a slightly awkward angle and near the corner. Hanako's careful preparation pays off as the cue ball hits and sends the ball rolling towards the corner pocket. For a moment it looks like it will stop just on the lip of a hole, but it eventually tilts just enough to drop in. Man, that was a hard shot. If you can pull that off, I don't think I have much hope.
I'm not that good.
It's not just the shot fall. Even when lining up, you look really serious. You're like this with chess too. The praise makes her a little flustered. She says the cue against the table and stands, turning to me.
I just like those kinds of things.
Her fingers are twisting and turning tightly.
When I was in the orphanage.
Whoa, we are going into the deep topic.
I just kept doing the things I liked before. If I played games with the others, that was enough for the helper there, so.
I never thought about it that way. Staff at an orphanage would naturally want to have everyone socialize at least a little. Damn. Then that freaking fire must have happened so early in her life. God damn it. If it's okay for me to ask, what was it like for you at that place?
Why do you want to know?
I've touched a nerve, but the fact that she responded at all shows there's at least a chance she'll answer my question. Before she would just have shrunk away from it without a word.
I'll tell you, but...
But?
Could you tell me who Iwanako is?
Iwanako. Oh, the letter. I wonder how long she's been waiting for the right opportunity to ask me this. I'm surprised, but don't hesitate. Sharing information is naturally a matter of give and take. She's someone I used to like? No! She's someone that used to like you! Her nervousness subsided, at least for a time it took to ask. Her curiosity is getting the better of her, and I feel a bit uncomfortable to be questioned on this of all matters. Really? Really, man? Really? There is no way I could spill out all my feelings about Ivanako here. I don't even know myself what my feelings regarding her are, even after talking to Yuko earlier, and I want to avoid the subject around Hanako. Hanako doesn't look overly satisfied with the awkward ending to the discussion, but thinks better of continuing it. She was only just managed to ask me in the first place, but knowing that I wouldn't want to talk about it, I would finally take my own shot. The lack of talking between us is filled by the chatter of other patrons and the band at the other end of the club. Spike a shot that does look too difficult. I try and shot for it. The cue ball taps the ball and the trajectory is about right, but I put in too much power. It grazes the corner of the hole, moves off to the side, just skirting the pocket. I grit my teeth a little. I was pretty good at this game, and it's frustrating to have deteriorated so much. I step back and let Hanako take her turn. Glance towards the counter where Lily and Akira are sitting. They are talking busily between themselves and seem to be having a good time. I turn back to Hanako as she takes her shot. With the same face as before, she lines herself up and sharply pushes the cue. Honestly, is it weird that it's frustrating to me, the fact that he's not able to talk about Iwanako easily? Like, dude. Like, seriously, you weren't even together. Just as before, she sinks the ball as she was aiming for. It drops into the side pocket more clean than her last shot for. It looks like she's getting a bit more into the groove of the game. Nicely done. She hesitates for a moment and begins to address me without turning her head.
The orphanage was nice. It felt a bit like Yamaku does, and the staff was really kind. But as the years went on, I realized something. I was different.
It is strange to hear her speak so kindly about herself. She's soundly forcing the words out. It reminds me of when she insisted she tell me about the fire. Hanako must feel that she has to tell me of such things, if I'm willing to tell her about my own past. Her grip on the queue tightens as she continues to speak.
Most of the children there were up for adoptions just like I was, but unlike me, they gradually left, one by one. By the time I went to Yamaku, I was among the oldest children there.
Bastards.
For a while, I helped with some of the younger children, but eventually...
I lay a hand on her shoulder. She's forcing herself by now. It's okay. She looks mildly surprised for a moment, but then nods before setting down her cue and turning towards me.
Do you really think so?
Yeah, I think so. Even while Lee's away, I'll be around to protect you, right? Hanako looks at me for a long time, and I'm taken a bit off guard. Her expression hasn't changed from before, still looking somewhat maudlin, and silences between us aren't unusual. I think it's the fact that she's holding such prolonged eye contact that makes me feel a bit odd. It feels as if she's judging me. It's a very strange, vaguely uncomfortable feeling. Hanako?
I understand. Thank you.
She smiles and looks away a little, but he feels stilted. Hanako isn't very good at faking emotions, and this is no exception. Which also makes me think it really makes sense that she was looking for mother's figure in her life. And I guess even though Lily is her friend, she kind of is a little bit of that mother figure. I move to the table and take my turn to try and distract myself, but it doesn't seem to work. Does she think I'm not up to the task of helping her? Is she disappointed in me? I'm probably overthinking this. While her silences are just an accepted fact of life by now, sometimes I do wish she'd speak more. With a toot, I send the white sphere curling down the table into my target. Hanako sees what's happening just as I do. The ball hits hard. With the striped ball I intended to sink, whirring off towards the 8 ball. Sure enough, as both Hanako and I look on and bite our lips, they connect and the black ball rolls in leisurely into a corner pocket. Stop! Stop! All I can do is sigh. It looks like Hanako is mine again, so maybe it wasn't for not. That was an awful shot. You win. It seems I'm getting pretty rusty after all this time. Hanako bends down, begins to shoot the remaining balls in the closest pockets. I almost asked if we could play in the game, but a quick check of my watch confirms that the night is getting pretty late. Lin and Akira appear to be still drinking at the counter. Seems like we'll have to drag them away.
Hisao?
I turn back to Hanako, who's still looking over the pool table shooting balls. Her voice sounds different from before.
I'm here for you as well.
I suddenly find myself blushing. It's so natural that she'd respond this way, given what I said earlier, but it's still a shock to actually hear it! That girl! Just what is my relationship with this girl? I want to protect her, to make her happy. I'm not really sure that it's something like love, but I don't think these are the same kinds of feelings I have for Lily either. I feel sorry for her, having gone through so much in her life. Her parents died in a house fire. He finally connected the dots, and she lived in an orphanage for much of her childhood. I can't imagine that kind of life. It's been rough. Very rough. But I feel like there's so little I can do for her, especially now that Lee is going to be leaving the country. Hanako and I finish tying up the table and cues, and pick up Lily and Akira on our way out of the club. It feels like something changed between Hanako and me. I can't quite place what it is, but Hanako is acting differently now. I feel like we're further apart, if anything. What do you... What?
So, you enjoy yourselves?
Hanako and I both nod and agree. The game was good, and we both did learn more about each other, so it's an honest answer. Lee appears to be a little distracted. Worried about the trip, Lily? She paused before sighing and smiling quickly.
A little. It means quite a bit.
The comment earns her a clap on the shoulder from her sister. Hanako smiles back too.
You'll be okay, Lily. I hope get you your time over there. Thank you, Hanako. I'll try to. It would be nice to be back with my family after all, no matter how brief a time it may be.
With that, the four of us begin to walk to the car park where Akira's car is. We continue to talk between ourselves, but it's mostly just small talk. Which makes me wonder now. Oh, the end of the episode. It didn't make me wonder about this, but Mitsubishi Lance. What are the costs for a Lance? Oh shit, that's too much. Moto. Let's see a new ones. Why not? Can I? Okay, there are new. Okay, there are just parts here. Okay. Anyway, let's end the episode. Of course, we'll continue tomorrow. Of course, hope to see you tomorrow. Of course, and I wish you a wonderful day. Of course, we'll see where this is going exactly. So, yeah, bye bye.